Welcome back to Renegade Muscle. I'm Jeff Roberts. I'm here with Lee Priest. Today we're going to be talking about Phil Heath. Phil Heath's doing the Olympia. Tampa Pro quick. Bodybuilding DVDs. Maybe some Menser talk. Listener questions, of course, and much more. Of course. What's up, Lee?
Not much. Just a chilly day here today. What is it today? 85% chance of rain, and it's 9 degrees Celsius.
Nice. It's been rainy here as well.
Well, it's always raining there. That's God crying on the US of A.
Yeah.
It's shedding his tears of the stupidity in America.
He's that. Don't get me started. What do you think about Phil Heath doing the O?
If we're going to ask what I think about Joe Biden giving some silly comments again.
Oh.
Phil Heath, now, this is what I was thinking. He says, I'm coming back to the O because I've got unfinished business. So I could say, Jeff, I'm coming back to the O. Doesn't mean I'm competing. I could just be going to the Expo.
Oh, that would be. I would be pissed off if that's what it was. That's some. Kai Green shit. That's what Kai Green would do.
Exactly.
Kai Green's fake ass would do that.
I could post up, follow my journey to the Olympia, and sure, I'm coming to the Olympia, but the Expo, and then it says, people go, but he says unfinished business. Well, let's just say I was at the Olympia last year. I had 500 T-shirts. I sold 250. I got 250 left over. I've got unfinished business. I've got to come sell the other 250 T-shirts.
Get the hell out of here.
I'm just saying, until I see the signed contract, I don't fucking believe anything. But the sad thing is, though, it's going to be great that he's in it because, you know, if he's in top shape, I think he's going to win. But the thing is, though, if it's only American competitors, because if people can't come from overseas, it's going to be, oh, whoopee-doo, you won the Olympia. Who'd you beat? Ruli's not there. Rami's not there. Hardy's not there. Some of the big names, Bonak might not be there. So it's going to be one of those, yes, it will be a victory because you're there and mainly American competitors are there, but people are going to be like, yeah, you won it, but there's no real competition. Even though there is competition with Brandon and that, you know, the way dickheads think, they're always going to come up with shit and go, yeah, but, you know, Brandon's a great competitor, so's Flex Lewis, so there is good quality there, but, you know, the mind of the internet trolls, well, Rami wasn't there, he might have beat you. Bonak wasn't there, he might have beat you. Ruli might have come in and beat you, so big deal, you won. It's just,
yeah,
you're not going to please everyone, that's for sure.
It's true. I think that. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope that people can come. Mm-hmm. I know there were. I mean, Ian competed at Tampa, and he's from Canada. I mean, I know it's right there, but
yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what your restrictions are with overseas, because here in Australia, we can't really come in from overseas, and then
nobody in this country knows what any of the rules are, and I think that's on purpose. Nobody has any fucking idea. The malls are open and people don't even know. The malls are empty. They don't like it's all a muddy bag of shit.
Mm-hmm. So can we do that? Are we allowed to do? Are we allowed to go outside and hang out?
That's how it is.
Line?
That's how it is. Yeah.
I was outside hanging my clothes out. There was a drone flying over. I think I might be in trouble.
I think he'll win as well. I think even if, like, assuming everyone's going to be there, because if none of the other guys, I mean, if it's funny because if you asked the question 18 months ago, who would win, Phil Heath or Brandon Curry? Mm-hmm. I feel like everyone would have said Phil Heath. Like Brandon Curry has never, until he won the Olympia with Phil Heath not there, he's never been like considered on Phil Heath's level. Mm-hmm. I think Phil is underrated. I mean, I know he has a stomach issue, but if he can get that under control, I think he's just a different. I still
think too, you can't really count out Brandon because Brandon looks great, and now, like, I'm sure Brandon was training hard for the Olympia, going, okay, I'm going back to defend my title. But as hard as he was training, knowing now Phil's coming back, his training level just went. Bleh. He just knocked it up a few more notches. Even though you're training hard, knowing that Phil's going to be there, your whole mindset has just changed 100% again. So
yeah, I don't know that. I feel like, like trying to picture those two, especially from the rear.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to tell, like I said, because I said, there's still got time where we saw Brandon last year looking good, and I think Brandon's going to come in a better version again, and now If he knows Phil's going to be there, he might even bring in more conditioning with that. So really, until the day of the show, it's still going to be, Brandon might come in perfect. Phil might come in that little bit off. We haven't seen Phil. I'm sure still Phil's got his size, but he had that year off and stuff. Was he still busting his ass hard and stuff? So it's going to be until the day of the show. We're not really going to know. So, and then again, now that Phil has said this, I'm betting within a week. Follow my journey to the Olympia, Kai Green.
Yeah, no way.
I've still got some T-shirts to sell too. Unfinished business.
Yeah, I don't know. Kai Green. Don't forget, Kai Green lost to Cedric McMillan in 2016, and they gave him the win because of the posing round. So he lost to him in the prejudging, and Kai Green had maybe the best posing routine ever at the 2016 Arnold. It was unbelievable, but. That to say that could go either way is putting it lightly, and that was 4 years ago. And Kai Green, you started to see some like one shoulder wasn't popping, his chest was kind of like starting to go away. Like there's no way, like it's not that there's no way, but I think people vastly overestimate how good Kai could be in 2020. I don't think
maybe he's taken this time off to fix that shoulder and stuff that we don't know about.
Is that what you're doing?
Or will Kai Green come back as that lady he dresses up as and do the Miss Olympia?
That's more likely. That's more likely. Yeah, that's more likely. But yeah, I'm fucking stoked. I'm
imagine
glad
that if he did come back and say he now identifies as a woman, a female bodybuilder, could he do the female bodybuilder?
Today, yeah, probably. He probably could, and then he would be celebrated for his whatever the hell you want to call it, his bravery.
And really too, and when you look at some of the female bodybuilders, he wouldn't look out of place. So it's not like she's gonna. It might not be a walk in the park.
He might get beat. He might get beat.
Exactly, it'd be like fucking hell.
It's true.
And it would be sad if he's the prettiest, and he might be the prettiest one up there. Fuck. That would be terrible.
If Kai's the prettiest one up there, no wonder female bodybuilding disappeared.
Exactly.
So yeah, I don't know. I think
that lost your train of thought, didn't
you? Wait, what are we doing?
You had a vision then of that lineup.
Yeah. Spank bank. Tampa Pro happened.
Yes,
I know. Yeah, I saw you on RX. He's all over the place. He's irrelevant, but he's all over the place.
Amazing, that isn't it?
It's crazy. But I heard you guys breaking it down. It was a good show. You check it out. Lee was on a wrap up on RX Muscle.
Oh yeah, that was one of those. I was out in the backyard and Dave sends me a message. Can you do the wrap up show now? I'm like, oh, on what? The Tampa. I said, well, send me some fucking pictures so I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. It was a cool show. I think.
I think
Labrada is super exciting, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he looks great. He could probably be a little bit more polished, but I did feel for Ian who got second because he just looked like he didn't want to be there. He looked flat or something. He just didn't look like. Yeah, and then I thought Dwayne looked great. The guy that got third, he looked pretty good. And the guy, who was the guy in fourth? I forgot. Dave helped him get ready. I can't remember his name. It's not nice, but I can't
remember his name either. They're new. They're not well-known dudes, but there was a few breakout guys.
Yeah. So I even seen Hunter now going to the Olympia show. Be interesting too now. So.
And Hunter's 27, so 27. I think he's 27. Yeah. I don't know who he looks like, but when I see him, obviously he looks like his father facially, but when I see his physique, he looks like somebody. I just can't put. Is it Phil? Like he looks like somebody with those fucking legs and that. I don't know.
I'd have to look at it. It could look like a couple of people. He could look like when Dennis Newman came up, that type of physique, or even it's hard to say who he looks like, but I'm sure he looks like himself. But when you're looking at his body, you can just see looking at his body now. If he keeps on the right path and keeps doing things the proper smart way, he has the potential. It's almost like when I mentioned before, when you looked at a young Jay Cutler, you could see the potential was there. But I think Hunter's body looks actually more pleasing than Jay's, because Jay had those big legs, but they were funny shaped quads and sort of a bigger waist and stuff, whereas Hunter just looks nice and complete, symmetrical as well. So
he's definitely at risk of blowing his shit out if he goes too far with it. Like he's put, man, it was impressive though. His legs are huge. He's still put together nice and everything, you know. But to see him
a little bit more on his upper body, and then if you put another 10 pounds on, and if you can add that to the upper body, and then with conditioning on top of that, it'd be a good sight to see.
Right. Definitely.
And I think having his father in his corner too, I think he's gonna, be smart about it as well. So I don't know how much input Lee has on it, but I'm sure he, gives him some advice and tells him to, here and there. So
yeah, I'd imagine he. How could you? Yeah, I'd imagine he does. I mean, it's crazy how something about seeing Lee Labrada's son on stage was so cool. It was so cool. See, like when you saw Sergio is like the second most fascinating bodybuilder to me after Hunter. Just something about, because Sergio Oliva Jr. just is not like his father was at all. Sergio's like a California kid. He's like he's nothing like his dad. He doesn't really have the same sort of, he has a similar physique, but Hunter's like almost like he's the same sort of person. He talks the same way. He looks the same way. Like when he walked out there and started hitting those shots, it was like, it's fucking Lee Labrada with 50 pounds more muscle. It was sick. It was so cool. Yeah, it was very cool. And then you had George the Bull, George Peterson in the 212 come up from Classic.
Yep, exactly. Yes, he looked good.
Yeah.
He looked good. They're wondering how he would have done the Open. It'd be hard to say. Until you can see someone in the Open, it's always hard to go off photos or videos and stuff. But, yeah, he looked good.
Yeah, and it wasn't like the stiffest competition of all time, but he pretty much smoked that lineup.
I was looking on because Dave gave me the link, so I went to the NPC news thing, and they had quite a few divisions there at the contest. There was like that division and the Masters, and then there was the physique, and then there was the bikini, then there was the wellness, then the Masters type wellness, and then there was some other one, then there was another physique, then the Masters physique. That's like,
it's a little excessive.
No, I saw it. Dave showed me a picture too. He looked really good. The guy that won the Masters physique, and he's like an amputee. He only has one leg.
Oh, really? I didn't even see that.
I think it's great being up there, but I always wonder, if you got one leg, how do you win the symmetry round and stuff?
That's a good question.
I'm not saying that to be like sarcastic or anything, because if we are judging the physique, because he looked great.
He had one leg. He had a prosthetic leg, like similar to Flex Wheeler's leg with the metal bit and all that. Did he have a quad, or was it all the way up to the hip?
No, it's just all the way up, like the whole thing connected on, so there was no quad or anything. Then, so like his upper body looked great and his arms and that, but then you see the guy to get second, he looked good too, but he had two legs. So I'm just wondering how they judge it on symmetry, or was like maybe the guy that got second won the symmetry, but then the other guy in muscularity might have. I'm just asking out of curiosity, when you have somebody who is unable, I'm not saying he's disabled, but I'm just saying when you have somebody with two legs and you got to judge on arms, symmetry, legs and that, if someone doesn't have another leg, how do they do the judging criteria?
I guess you just have to assume that the prosthetic leg, that leg would look the same as the other leg.
Yeah, but you don't have it on the day, so it's like assuming, well, next week he could be ripped. He's not ripped this week, but let's assume if he was ripped.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah, because if he was like Michael Lockett had a bad knee injury, and he has that one leg that's not as good, and it hinders him on stage a little bit. Where did he deserve to win? Was he the best guy?
If you can pull up the NPC news, I think it was in the Masters physique. If you can have a look at it, you'll see. Like I said, he looked great, but then I'm just wondering on the judging. pull up NPC News online, then go to the show and...
You're going to have to...
fill in for me. I'll read you something. Maxwell, Maxwell that worked with Epstein, she wanted to recruit Paris Hilton for Epstein. Well, that was not like Paris Hilton hasn't done anything sexually before, so that wouldn't have been a huge thing. Let's see what's happening. Fauci, he warns the COVID-19 vaccine may only be partially effective. Well, thank you.
You mean like every flu vaccine ever? Go figure.
Similar to that, yes. Now, can loneliness be cured with a pill? Scientists are now asking. Well, I think loneliness could be cured with a pill. It's called MDMA. What causes adult acne and how to treat it? That's interesting. This is some of the big headlines here. An evening update.
Did you ever have acne at all?
No. I get like sometimes sweat pimples, but never like acne, no.
Here we go.
Physical stress at work linked to brain aging, signs of memory loss.
I believe it.
Australians could pass on COVID-19 to their pets. Well, don't sleep with your pets.
Only Australians, though.
Yeah, only Australia. Your American. Your American pets. Do you have hormonal disorder? Here are the signs. If it's in order, you got the guy who plays second. Click on his name when you go back and just have a look at the guy who got second because he looked good too. So I'm just wondering on the overall. Yeah. See?
He's got big old delts on him, a long midsection, just like Lee.
And nothing taking that away from him. I'm just wondering now how do they judge compared to somebody with two legs? That's all.
Yeah, there's not many pictures of him, but
because that would be like saying, well, if a guy's got a great upper body and he's in the wheelchair division, could he go in the open class?
It's a valid question because otherwise you'd have to have like a class like specifically for amputees, which would be even harder to judge.
Well, it might not be hard if they're all similar, like the wheelchair class, because they're mainly upper bodies and stuff, and they're in the wheelchair. But then if you got like a guy who's an amputee in the open class where you have people with two legs, can a guy with a wheelchair go in open class? Or does he have to stay in the wheelchair class? I'm just asking questions. Just all I want to know.
I think based on what the guy at second looks like, I think it's fair that he won. I mean, but this guy's legs, both his legs are bigger. Like the guy with the dude who won, his good leg is small. Like his good leg is small, but his only leg. But the guy in second is not.
But you need to see this. I know it doesn't blow you away, but you need to see the score sheet to see how they judge it, because when it comes to symmetry, how do you?
Yeah. That would be a good question for I don't know who. It's Weinberger, I guess. Somebody like that. But well,
it might be like those tall guys at the show who got beat by that 4'5" guy, and they show their friends the pictures and go, "Look who beat me."
Yeah, like who was like Ronnie Coleman talking about you.
Exactly.
He's all pissed off when Lee Priest beat him. I was just a little guy beating me.
But nothing, like I said, nothing taken away from him. But do the guy that got second with two legs, is he pissed at a guy with one leg beating?
I hope not.
Well, would you be?
I mean, it depends. It depends. If he had a better upper body, if it was bodybuilding and he had a better upper body and his one leg was better than mine, then I wouldn't be.
Yeah, but his one
because
leg.
Because you have to assume that if
he's one good leg better than two decent legs.
Yeah, but why would he have, if he had that leg, though, and it was functional, you'd imagine it would be about the same. Like, you don't see tons of right leg, left leg discrepancies unless sometimes you do. So it's almost like I don't know.
Well, you can have a discrepancy of muscle size a little bit, but not having a whole leg, it throws off the symmetry around, doesn't it? Unless your prosthetic leg, you had a 3D printer done of the mold, and I'm being serious.
Yeah.
Like, you could get like that Bucky arm I've got where it clips onto my arm. You could have a 3D, because you can take a photo of your leg these days. Those 3D printers can do it exactly the same. So if they printed off the cast and you could clip it around your prosthetic leg, so that way standing there, it looked the same. That would be pretty cool.
It might cost $10,000, but
I'm sure somebody would probably donate their time to do it.
Yeah, yeah. It might look awesome, actually, but then he couldn't flex it though.
No, as long as it was done, like say you're 2 weeks out, however long it takes to do a 3D print. I think they do them pretty quick. If you could send whoever the photo of your leg how it is now in contest shape and clipped it on, that way at least, even though it's not real, it still look like your leg that you're competing with type thing, rather than just the prosthetic, the metal bit with the foot on it and stuff.
Right.
I wonder if anyone's ever thought about doing that.
I don't know. There's so few of those guys.
Because those printers can print anything these days. I mean, you put a photo into a computer and it can just start.
Yeah. I have a friend who works with those 3D printers. He has an office with about 20 of them or more. Yeah. They're insane. They're always running.
See?
Yeah. See? It's
you
true.
asked about the Tampa Pro show, and we got up on the prosthetics and 3D printing.
Yeah.
So back to the Tampa Pro.
I think you said on the RX show that you think that Hunter Labrada could be a future Mr. Olympia.
Yes, I do. Yep.
I agree. He's put together, man. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see him at the Olympia. Hopefully the Olympia goes down in a somewhat normal fashion.
Yeah, but I could probably see him, like, if he comes in even a bit better conditioned and maybe at another pound or two or something, I could see him cracking top 6 first Olympia.
Yeah. I don't think he beats Flex Lewis.
No. I think because Flex Lewis still has that. I think Flex still has that dense muscle on his frame, and Flex's conditioning. He has that muscle maturity look to him now. So
it depends who shows up, honestly.
Yeah,
because there's a bunch of guys. It'd be kind of disrespectful to say he's not gonna beat Bonac. He's not gonna beat Curry.
Cedric's meant to be doing it, and Cedric's one of those. If he's on, he's on. He looks great. If he's off, he's off. So it's like there's always that. That's why I've always said, predictions are fun to do, but some of these people were thinking, he's going to win. Even like Phil was saying, Phil's going to come in and win it. Just say he comes in off. Then it's like, well, shit now. So until the day of the show, if we go by whoever's in shape, but even when you say whoever's in, if everyone's 100% on, I think Phil definitely wins it. And then when it comes down to Brandon, Flex, Cedric, or Labrada, if those guys are all 100% on, it's still going to be a tough show to move them around and call and stuff. So,
yeah, it's true. I'm just excited there was an actual bodybuilding show finally.
But like I said, he still could be just coming back to sell his T-shirts, unfinished business.
I hope not. He's going to lose a fan if that's the case. Check this out.
Jesus, that's a classic. That's a DVD now. Have you got the VHS?
No, I don't have any VHSs.
Well, that's even better. Look at that. There's Mike, your blonde down there in the bathroom with me. 5 Jacket Mike.
Yep.
From New York. Yeah, that was a good. That's the.
In that scene, you say, is this the one where you're like, and so at some part you're like, you say, well, I lost 45 pounds in 4 weeks or something like that. Well, you're pulling your shorts down and you're in the bathroom with 5 Jacket Mike, and you say, no, actually you pose. I think you pose and you're putting your like pants back on, and he's like, oh, you look good or something, and he's like, and you talk about how you lost like 45 pounds in 4 weeks or something
Probably.
like that.
It's been that long. That was like 98, I think, wasn't it?
Let's see.
Yeah, no, 2000.
2006.
Yeah, but I think it was 2000 the show was getting ready for.
Yeah. December 2001, originally released.
Yeah, it was filmed in 2000, I think, leading up to the Night of Champions and stuff.
Your wedding is there with Kathy.
Yeah, that would have been 2000. I think it starts with the wedding, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. You're huge. You're huge. Your legs are busting out of those fucking white pants.
I was a trendsetter, wasn't I? It's like, oh, this is a sad movie. He's getting married at the beginning.
Look at this one.
Oh, it's even signed.
It's signed by Phil Heath. A New Beginning. I think it's his first DVD. It follows him to like the Colorado Pro.
When was that? Like 06 or something?
06, yeah. He beat Durham. And Kai was out of the top 10. He's like a no-namer.
Hey, look at that.
Yep. I got
look at you. Oh, look at you. You've been going through your old boxes or something, have you?
Yeah, well, moving. Of course, I got this. I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Oh. Is that the new version, like the uncut, new edited?
The 25th anniversary special edition features Pumping Iron digitally remastered, plus making a feature exclusive interview with Arnold Schwarzenegger and more. He admits to steroids.
Oh my God!
Got this one. This is your favorite. Train Insane. This is how it came. Just like this.
What happened to the top bit of it?
It came in like a little case.
Oh.
So I put it in a bigger case.
Yeah.
Brash's DVD. Then you're featured in all of these, I think.
What's that? The battles?
Well, how about I just do this?
Battle for the Olympias. Oh, yeah. Who's on Sonny? Because on the back it shows who's on them, doesn't it?
Okay.
It's got the different competitors and what body parts they're doing.
We got Durham, Paul Dillette, Aaron Baker, Lee Priest. Oh, yeah. Kevin, Sean, Jean-Pierre Fuchs, Milos, Johnny Moya, Ronnie, Ahmed Hadar, Flex, Gunter, Aaron Baker.
What a good what body part am I training on that one? Chest or back? Or?
Chest. You pull up in the Hummer. And you're like, only crackheads and drug dealers are out. Like, yeah. And you do like you do chest. You do like 3 plates on the incline and the flat and everything, and then you talk about how you think most pros are allergic to the metal. They don't want to touch their own weights when you're racking up.
And then I go outside and pose, don't I, on the balcony?
You look insane there too. Your arms look bigger than your waist in that video.
That's the year the judge told me I wasn't in good enough condition. I wasn't hard enough.
There you go.
And my reply was, "What do you want, rigor mortis?"
Lee Priest, chest, shoulders, and calves.
Oh,
I think this one.
What? There's none of them had me doing arms. What the hell?
This one, you're in the
shed.
barn. Yeah,
in the
shed.
Yeah, that's a good one. That one.
Yeah.
So I didn't do arms on any of them.
2002. I don't think so. Well, chest, shoulders, calves. No, I don't think you did arms. That's sad.
That's strange.
2005, you did legs. There he is.
Doing legs. Yeah.
Doing 100 reps with 4 plates.
That's the one we talked about last time, wasn't it?
Yep. 2005 was good.
And then I didn't do the show. I said, fuck it.
Yeah. Gustavo, Durham, Victor, Branch, Jay, Gunter, Chris Dim, Johnny, Craig Richardson, Quincy Taylor, Melvin, Ronnie Raquel, Dennis James. Dennis James in this one was great. He was massive.
It's funny you mentioned some of those names. You wonder where they are now. It's like
I know. Alexander Fedorov, remember him?
What's his name? Said hello to me the other day when I was on Instagram Live. Henderson Ford.
Henderson Ford. Am I supposed to know who that is?
Henderson Ford. He's from Canada. Black bodybuilder.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not aware of him. Am I boring you?
Yeah.
And lastly, 07, which Lee is not in.
This is your life.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't. I was a bad boy then. Lee was suspended. But
yeah, 07. It's got like Ronnie that was his last attempt at it.
It doesn't say on the back guest appearing at the expo. Lee Priest.
Nope.
Wasn't allowed on stage.
You do have a guest appearance in Pulling John, the arm wrestling documentary about John Brzezinski. Remember when I sent you that picture where you're like going like this? Yeah. So there's the greatest arm wrestler to ever live.
I was going past. Is that on Netflix? Is it?
It was at one point. It was at one point, but I don't think it is right now.
I think it's still.
Unless yours is different.
Yeah, it could be because only last week I was going past it, my wife said, that looks interesting. Yeah, it's about like different arm wrestlers overseas and that sort of stuff in different countries like Germany or somewhere or
Russia. Yeah, it's essentially about 3 arm wrestlers. And it's mostly about John Brzezinski, who's the most dominant arm wrestler. He's probably the most dominant athlete of all time.
And he was like an elderly guy, wasn't he? Older, because he's talking about the younger guys coming up to beat him. Yeah.
Older, like, older,
not
like,
old.
Not old. No,
he was talking about all these younger kids trying to beat him coming up. Yeah.
But he was 210 pounds, and no one on the planet could beat him for like 25 years. He was the best arm wrestler.
I got a cameo, do I?
Yes, because there's one of the first or second competitions they go to in the documentary is at the Classic. Arnold. Yeah,
I think he came past. He's got a big forearm on one arm, doesn't he? Or...
Both his forearms are gnarly, not like yours, but they're gnarly. But there's a real quick clip of you, and you just like hit a shot for the camera, and you're fucking insanely freaky, insane. Yeah, it must have been. I don't remember.
A lot of the arm wrestlers used to always come over and see me because they like my forearm. So when the arm wrestling was on at the Arnold Classic, they'd always come past and get a picture with me and do this. Like this one young kid, he went to do the photo like that, and he tried to do that really quick. I'm like, you wanker! It's almost like he tried to break my arm. It's like. Yeah. I'm just doing a photo, and all of a sudden you get so serious.
It was probably a little bit. It was probably like 05, 06, 04, 07, somewhere in there.
I'll watch it now, and I'll let you know. I'll tell you by the hairstyle. And what company was I with? Was I at a booth or?
You were wearing blue.
That helps.
That's all I know, dude. That's all I know. You were wearing blue, and you were fucking jacked. That's all I know.
A blue T-shirt, was it, or?
You didn't have sleeves, I don't think, or maybe you rolled. It's a very quick clip of you, but it's just you, and you're like this, and you're
maybe if I got blue on, maybe it'd be Twin Lab. I'll have to have a look at it and let you know.
Yeah, it's probably like mid documentary, probably a little bit earlier than that.
If I'm with Twin Lab, it'd be around the 2004, maybe 2.
I bet it. Yeah, I bet it is because you were definitely like. It was when you were highly competitive. Like you could tell by looking at you in that 1 second clip.
That would have been 1986 then. When I was 13.
Yeah, I was -1.
Undefeated then.
I watched a new movie. You know what? You posted on your Instagram to watch that Unhinged with Russel Crowe.
Yeah.
Did you go to the movies to see that? Our movie theaters aren't fucking open. How ridiculous is that?
Why not? Because in a movie theater, when you go to get a ticket, they can number your seat and space you out. Why not?
I don't know. The only thing that's not open is fucking gyms and movie theaters. The only 2 things that I want to be open. Yeah. All I need is a movie theater, a gym, and a grocery store, and I'm good. I don't need anything else. And those are the fucking things.
Well, that's the only thing when people say, how did this affect my life, this shutdown? The only thing that affected me was not the movie theater being open because I got a gym at home. I could go to the grocery store. I could go outside walking. So the only thing I missed, but I have to say that Unhinged movie, when you see the preview, have you seen the preview for it?
No, I tried to watch it, but I didn't realize it wasn't out yet. We were trying to buy it on Amazon or whatever.
And we didn't. You can go on YouTube and watch the preview. On the preview, it just looks like a bit of road rage, like he's angry at this girl because she was an asshole. He apologized to her. He goes, okay, it's your turn now. She's like, I ain't apologizing to you, bro. So he's like, okay. So for the whole movie, he stalks her. And because of her not apologizing, probably 12 people at least get murdered or killed. And I mean, it's full on. It's like, I'm surprised the women's groups aren't up in arms because when he's, he's beating her and fucking kicking her. But when you see these other murders in it that he kills people, it's just so full on fucking brutal. It's like you just laugh. You just laugh because you don't expect it. You think, okay, maybe he'll do this. And all of a sudden, you're like, fucking hell.
It's a good one. It's like, but
he plays this bad psychotic guy really fucking well as far as like a nut job, and it's funny. Yeah. I was there with Rachel come to see me, and the guy, it's funny because when I won that money on the radio station, the guy from the radio station was there. I'm like, hi. He goes, oh, hi, Lee, you won the money. I said, yeah. And then my wife, he says, what do you think of the movie? And my wife turns to him and goes, she had it coming. She deserved it. He's like, women, they normally defend the women. My wife's like, she had it coming.
Yeah. We watched The Lighthouse. Have you seen that one?
Oh, no, I've seen it there. That's Gerard Butler, isn't it?
The black and white film?
Yeah, I thought Gerard Butler. I watched one with Gerard Butler in the Lighthouse, but there's one. I watched one Lighthouse one.
It's new. It came out 2020.
Yeah, I have seen it, but I watched one that was about a lighthouse, but that was a different one. There's these two guys in a lighthouse and they had to stay there, but then there's these funny creatures on the island. That's a different one.
I haven't seen that one. Have you seen have you seen the one, the new one?
No, I've seen it there, but I haven't clicked on it. But I think it's Gerard Butler, isn't it?
Is he the older guy or the guy from like Twilight or whatever?
Gerard Butler's the one from 300 and White Olympus Has Fallen and all that.
Is he the older guy or the younger guy?
Fuck me, dude. I'm going to Google it now. Just
like, is he in his 20s or is he in his 50s?
Probably in his 50s or 40s.
Jesus,
have you watched the movie?
It was good. I don't know actors. I don't know that. I'm not into actors.
Who was it? Humphrey Bogart. The Lighthouse trailer. The Lighthouse.
It's pretty messed up. It's pretty messed up, actually. It's not what you think it would be.
A New England folk tale, was that it? The Lighthouse film.
Yeah, it's 2020. It's black and white. That's the most notable thing about it.
Oh, no, that's the one with... No, it's... what's his name? That was Robert Pattinson and William Dafoe. Okay.
Yeah. They both did a great job in that movie. It was pretty cool. It was,
and there's a mermaid in it, but it says here.
Yeah, and you may or may not see mermaid pussy.
Oh, do I have to slow it down?
You may see fish pussy in that movie, so it's slow it down. You don't even have to slow it down. I mean, I did, but
as a modern day horror masterpiece.
It's a bit much, but it was good. It was
chilling and effective. A dark and disconcerting journey. Was it a dark and disconcerting journey for you?
It was. It absolutely was. The music is great. The music is very the music makes it way more eerie and disconcerting than it would be without.
It's surrounded 25 miles from land, surrounded by the deadly Irish Sea. The men are stranded in a freak storm that rages for months, nothing short of an act of God.
Yep. Yeah. And the older dude in it is like a classic old school sailor.
You know, that's William Dafoe. He's got the beard.
Awesome character. Awesome. But I was hoping you'd seen it.
No, I've seen it there, but I haven't clicked on it. But I'll give it a look. It only goes for... It got 7.6 out of 10 on IBM. Rotten Tomatoes even give it 90%.
Yeah, that's why I ended up watching it. It's probably a polarizing movie, though, because I'd imagine I could definitely see people not liking it. I would not be surprised if people didn't like it, but I liked it.
Because a violent storm in the 1890s, the pair must fight each other to retain their sanity and survive a reality as it crumbles around them. Why couldn't they just cuddle and make love?
Well, you got to watch the movie.
Why they got to fight? Why couldn't they just be like, hey, we're here for a couple of months, we're stuck on an island, let's make love, cuddle and kiss?
I'm going to spoil if I answer these questions, Lee. I don't want to spoil it for you.
I'm one of those people, you can tell me the end of a movie, I'll still watch it.
Yeah, I'm kind of also one of those people.
I like to know. I'm like, tell me how it ends. Because what I hate, nothing worse than when someone goes, go see this movie. It's a great movie. I won't tell you the ending. So you go watch it, and when it ends, you sit there like, that was fucked up ending. Why didn't you fucking tell me it was coming? Now I'm disappointed. I'd rather be disappointed early, so I know, okay, this is a great movie, but I know it's got a shitty ending. But you know, when you sit there and you just go, that's it. It's like, what the fuck happened? It's over. Or it's like they leave the movie hanging, and my wife's like, oh, that was great. I said, no, it's not. Are they dead? Are they alive? She goes, well, that's for you to, make up your own ending. I said, I paid fucking $15. I don't want to make up my own ending. I want to fucking watch it. Why can't they put in, if they died, are they alive? Are they going to survive? Is she with him? Show me how it fucking ended. That's what I'm paying for. If I wanted to make up my own ending, I would have wrote the whole fucking movie to begin with.
Yeah, I agree with you. I hate those shit endings where it's like it doesn't really end. Like that Shyamalan guy sometimes does that crap.
Oh no, I know. It's like, sort of like
you didn't
from
finish
one
it.
scene, Like it goes from one scene, they'll be doing something, and then it goes black for a second. So you think you're going to the other scene, then it says the end. You're like,
yeah, yeah. It's the worst. It's the
but that
worst.
was like that movie.
It's like
No
it's
Thing
like
for
you
Older
just
Men. What was that one? No Country for Older Men.
Yeah.
And it had Tommy Lee Jones and his wife sitting at the table talking. Then it just goes black. And what? That's it. What the fuck?
Yeah. You're left to
I
wonder.
think that happened in what's his name? Everyone hated it. What happened in Sopranos, and the fucking screen goes black. What happened at the end of Sopranos? It's like, oh, fucking hell.
Listen to this.
This does have an ending, does it? So I can watch it.
The ending is. I'm not going to say anything, but it does have an ending.
Oh, good. Like
it has
the mermaid. The mermaid gets raped or something. I don't know.
We're not really going to answer this because it wouldn't be good. So Club Frothy, this guy.
That's a decent name. Club Frothy.
This dude, apparently his name is Sean. He's from Melbourne, it looks like.
Melbourne.
In Australia, there's been names of, first of all, this is happening everywhere. In Australia, there's been names of particular products that people all of a sudden think are racist and offensive. Lollies. Lollies, such as Redskins and Chicos,
Chicos
have had to be renamed because of so-called racist overtones.
Do you know
Your thoughts on this PC bullshit?
Do you know what Chicos are?
No.
They're just, jelly baby lollies. They come blue, green jelly babies.
Jelly beans?
No, not jelly beans. They're actually jelly babies. They just look like little babies or little people, but they're like strawberry, raspberry. Okay. Doctor Who used to eat them all the time. Jelly babies.
Like Sour Patch Kids, but they're not sour, almost?
Yeah, or you get those gummy bears and they're bears.
Yes.
Well, pretend it's not a gummy bear, a gummy person. Okay. But these gummy person ones are just chocolate flavor, so they want to be in them.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And
I mean, there's all kinds
but then
of
we had we had the coon cheese. It got banned over here now. Coon cheese.
Yeah.
Which is silly. It was just the name of the guys that invented it. But now there's actually a thing. It was on the thing yesterday. We have a thing over here called Paul's. They're like a milk company, and they have this milk where it's got more protein, less fat, and it's called something Paul's A2 milk, the Smarter White or something, because it says Smarter White on it. They want to ban that because it says Smarter, like the Smarter White choice on milk. That's like silly. It's like, the cancel culture is just like, why can't the cancel culture cancel themselves? That would be good.
I will say that, like, in general, dude, back in the day on International Iron, we had some. There was one time when.
What about white sugar and brown sugar? Are we going to ban that? White flour?
Probably should.
Here's something. What about this? We have it here in Australia. You have it in America. Top Deck chocolate, where it's white and then milk chocolate.
Oh yeah, we don't call it Top Deck, but we have shit like that.
Well, here it's called Top Deck, where it's white chocolate on top and then the milk chocolate. So you know what, Jeff? You know what that means? That's the white man keeping the black man down because the white chocolate's on top and the fucking bottom. I want it cancelled. I want it cancelled.
Well, first of all, and I imagine you're the same way. Like, the more politically correct you are, the least I can be around you. Like, if you're a severely politically correct person, stay the fuck away from me, because no one wants to be around you, to be honest, because you're a prick. And the more politically incorrect you are, the better we're probably going to get along, because you're not going to fucking get offended when I joke around.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's the thing. So you gotta.
If you stay away from me, if you're going to get offended by shit, just don't even. Because you're like
you got to be level-headed enough too to understand. Look, if you're going to be a racist, bigot, asshole, and just accuse people of this and a blah blah blah, then you're a dickhead. But you have to be able to distinguish between a pure fucking racist and then people who talk in general, where you might discuss stereotypes in a funny way because they're funny. That's why fucking comedians make fun of things all the time. Comedians make fun of disabled people, but now you do that. Oh, fucking, you can't make fun of disabled people. We've got a guy here in Australia, he just lives in my town, actually. I talked to him online, called the Butsman. Butsman is on Instagram, and that comedian. In the last week, he was showing all these fucking emails and messages he's got. A lot of them are from Muslim people. Like, I'm going to stab you to death. I'm going to stab your wife. I'm going to rape your daughter. I'm going to kill you, because he made a joke. And he's made it before on thing. We was talking about that shooting in New Zealand where the guy went into the mosque and killed some people. And he talks about, you know, how as bad as that was and these innocent people getting killed in a place of worship. He goes, it wasn't the people getting killed that upset me the most and this and that, and upset other people, was when this gunman went into the mosque and killed 50-odd Muslims. He goes, the thing that pissed me off the most was that night when me and all my mates come out of the nightclub, we couldn't get a cab. So it's like, and the whole audience laughed and shit, but because he made that joke, they're trying to cancel him, and they're trying to, the amount of death threats he got, I'm thinking, fuck me dead. It's like, it's a joke. Move on.
It's a joke.
Hello.
It's a joke.
Hey, can you turn the light room light on?
Yes, hold on 1 second, Jeff.
Okay.
I'm in control of the lights in the lounge room. I don't give my wife control over anything.
Nope.
What's going on back there?
Okay, there you go. The lights are on. Go put your chain back on and get chained back to the kitchens.
Yes, sir.
I gave you too much leash today,
sir.
I tell you.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, just, I mean,
you got to be able to joke. In this day and age where shit's so serious. Look, in the old days, you could joke, even with your mates. If your mate was from Italy, you call him a fucking wog. Dad call you a name. It's like you'd go back and forth because it was funny, it was comedy. No one got offended because you knew you're just making a joke. There's a big difference between making a joke to someone or making a joke, or a comedian making a joke, compared to someone who's a flat-out fucking racist. And if you can't distinguish the two, it's like some of these movies that have come out before, now they've got to get rid of the movie because they say, oh, that's racist, you can't do that. That's a fucking funny movie. Just leave it. If you're offended, don't watch it. I had a guy on my Instagram live this morning. Stop cussing. Why are you cussing so much? I'm just like, you fucking cunt. Why don't you fuck off? And for like 10 minutes, you're still there. You're still cussing. And I'm like, and you're still fucking here. Just fucking click off, mate. Go somewhere else. I said, look, obviously you can't do it. So I just went click and I got rid of him. It's like, if you don't like it, and how many times you probably go to a comedy show that might go for an hour and a half? He might tell 200 offensive jokes. And out of those jokes, maybe you don't even like one, but I don't get offended by it. I might just go, that one's not that funny. But I don't go, oh, I'm going to go home now and get online and fucking, ooh, you told that one joke. It's like, who cares? It's like, people are so sensitive.
I think most of the time, people who get like offended by that stuff are not offended. They're not offended. They're just acting like they're offended to be like, look how good of a person I am. When in reality, those people like
fucking vegans.
Like
I'm a vegan because I'm saving the cows.
Yeah, like all the young white women who go on about Black Lives Matter. Like those are always the biggest cunts.
But
not always,
it's like
almost
you said,
always.
It's like you said, because of social media now, it's like they want to be seen as, look at me, I'm standing for something. Aren't I a good person?
Right.
When I go out and protest and film myself getting a little fake arrest, look
how
at me.
good I am.
I have a purpose in life now. Fucking hell.
Yeah. Just fucking. Yeah, like just the other night, I was hanging out with one of my buddies lives in Vegas and he was in town, so we're hanging out. And I'm a type 1 diabetic and my blood sugar dropped horribly and I was like stuttering and shit. So I slammed a bunch of raisins and I was like, but it takes a little bit. And
did
one
he
of my
make
buddies,
funny? Did he go,
yeah, of course. One of my buddies is like, fucking A. He's like, you're getting really diabetic on us and shit like that, you know? Like, it's just, my wife is relentless with like, I have like serious autoimmune disorders and all my buddies and stuff. Like, I mean, it doesn't even matter. Like, it doesn't even matter what it is. Like,
and the thing was, if you saw a comedian,
that's off limits.
No,
if you're joking,
exactly. If you saw a comedian making fun of any ailment you have, you'd sit there laughing, going, you know what? That's fucking true. It is funny. Yeah. You'd laugh at it. That's why it's funny, because you can relate to it somehow, or you know someone that does that. I have a friend similar. He when he came to visit me in America, Mark Rainbow from New Zealand, he gets stuff like that where he just like, he could be talking to you like this. He'll be like, yeah, Jeff, this and that. You can tell he's getting a little bit spacey. Then he just goes, and he's gone. So like I took him on these roller coasters at Six Flags, and then when he came off, he's sitting in the chair down. We all fucking left him and we were hiding and watching him, and he's sitting on the bench like this. And when he comes to, he's like, where'd everybody go? And then it was around Christmas time. We're having Christmas dinner at the table. There's another funny one.
Yeah.
We put his food in front of him. Everyone gets their food in front of him. And obviously he goes to eat it, then he just tells he's gone again. I mean, he just zones out. Like, his eyes are open, but lights are on, no one's home. So while he's like this, I take his plate away. I put an empty plate back. I hang fucking candy canes on his ears because you can do whatever you want to him while he's fucking out.
Yeah.
He suddenly comes to, he's like, did I eat my dinner? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, what the fuck's this? Like, oh, you fucking assholes. It's like you realise that he's passed out. Well, I said, not even passed out. He just like goes blank, like, and his eyes are open, but he's just not there.
Right.
Well, we always put shit on him when he does that. He's like, you fucking assholes.
Yeah. One of my friends out here is a Jewish kid. He's like his mom grew up in Israel and he's fluent in Hebrew. Mm-hmm. And I'll like hand him my wallet and be like, "You smell this and tell me how much money's in there." You know what I mean?
And he
fucking dies laughing, and he'll be like if I'm like whatever, I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, get the fuck out of here or whatever. He's like, this is just like the Holocaust. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
It doesn't mean that I hate Jewish people.
No,
we're fucking and he'll do the same thing about me being a diabetic or having Addison's disease or having a giant blockhead or whatever the fuck. Like,
next time you're over his house, here's a good one for you. Next time you're over his house, Jeff, and he's in the shower, just reach in and turn the light off and go.
Oh, I mean those jokes are abound too. Yeah, for sure.
I know. It's just like, and the thing is, when you got people who have an open mind, sense of humor, that's all it is. It's a joke. It's not like, well, how would you like it if such and such? Oh, here we go. Here comes the fucking do-gooders. It's like,
I think it's hilarious if it was coming from
Well, it's like me. I'd say to people sometimes, I'd be there with a group of people. I go, what's 12 inches long and makes women scream? And they're all like, oh, that's a dirty joke. No, I don't know what is it. I go, crib death. They're like, that's not funny. I had a friend whose baby died. I said, yeah, and I bet you they fucking screamed, didn't they? It's like you can't control the fucking world. You got to just fucking laugh at it. It's like,
like it's just what are you helping? Like if you're like, it's like no shit that is horrible. No shit. It's not. It doesn't make it any less horrible to never joke about it. Mm-hmm. It's not like now it's going to be like people are just going to be killing babies because you're joking about crib death. Like,
well, the thing is,
it's the same. That's what I wanted to say about the what Sean was talking about with them changing all those products and stuff. It's like, how the hell? Like, let's say if there like there's a race issue, how does that help a race issue at all? Like, do you really think that's it? Like, if you think there's a serious race issue in a country, if you think getting rid of Aunt Jemima is going to fucking do anything, you're out of your fucking mind.
Well, ever since they changed the name of Coon Cheese, look, racism's gone.
Yeah. Yeah. As if like those things are like being searched for after the fact.
I'm offended because I'm in a relationship. I'm a couple. And when I see craft singles, that offends me because I'm not single. So I want craft singles to be taken off the market because that is showing that you should be single and play the field and spread disease. And when you're single, you can just spread disease everywhere. So I think having a craft single is not spreading a good message of being married, being a couple, being in love. That's the sort of shit they think when they see something like that. I'm like, what the fuck?
I don't know.
It sounded good though, didn't it? It sounded good.
I agree. Craft singles infuriate me. I agree.
They do. They should come as a pair. That way we know they're in love. They're mahogany, whatever it is. Not misogynist, fucking whatever.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. They're not cheating with the other cheeses in the fucking fridge.
This might be a stupid ass question, but do you have American cheese out in Australia?
No. We have like the brand's Kraft there, but normally we just have cheddar, Swiss, we'll put it this way: we don't have the cheeses that America has that are fucking bright orange and all these fucking weird colours. Where it's
That's
like we don't have cheese in a fucking tube. Chemicals.
That's too bad.
No,
American cheeses.
When I first come to America and I saw some of the colours of the cheese there, I'm like, what the fuck is that? Is that radioactive or what?
Some of them are brown and shit. There's so many cheeses. Okay.
There's head cheese. Have you tried head cheese?
What's head cheese?
Head cheese. On the end of your cock, under your foreskin. I don't know. It's like cottage cheese.
I may have tried it unknowingly. I don't know.
No, that's thrush. That's yeast before the bread's made. That's a yeast infection.
Yeah. Dom Hitchin asks, did either of you play any team sports when you were younger, like rugby or football?
Yes, I used to play rugby. Yes, I used to play 5'8" in rugby. But I gave it away because I was like, you're back in the field a bit, grab the ball, run, because I was a fast runner. And because I was a fast runner, they'd always try and take me out and whack me in the fucking legs and shit like that. Even if I didn't have the ball, they'd fucking come at me and try and ram their knee in the side of my leg. And I'd always get injured sometimes when you get tackled, you land the wrong way. And one time I got tackled, I didn't have the ball, and I'm about to get up, and this big fat cunt just came over the top of me, hit my neck go. For like then 2 weeks, I had my neck in a cast thing for 2 weeks because I just like that. But yeah, so that's about the same time too. I was starting the weight training, and a lot of the
What age is this that you're playing rugby?
13, 14, 15.
Yeah.
So then it was like, some of the injuries I got from rugby would stop me training for a couple of days. So I'm like, fuck this, I want to go to the gym. So I stopped the rugby.
Yeah. I played like football, like NFL, American football, when I was really young, and I did the same sort of thing, but I was so young that all I could do was run fast. So I was like a safety and a tailback, but I only played for a few years, and I stopped when I was like 10. And then I played.
Did you stop because the coach was touching you?
No, unfortunately not. I stopped.
That's not funny. Because, do you know how many people have molested Jeff? I'm offended by that comment.
Yeah, I'm jealous of all of them.
I'm offended. Yeah, I'm offended I wasn't touched.
I know. What the fuck? What's wrong with me?
I wasn't pretty enough? Come on.
You know what's funny? One thing I remember when I played football is I have such a fucking huge head that...
Did you have a special helmet?
The helmets never fucking fit because they didn't believe how large my head was. I'm like, I had to fucking... I didn't like football. I can't get the ball and get I hated getting smashed from like I just didn't have that like I didn't like football. I didn't like getting fucked up every day.
I could see you playing with your mum making you your own helmet out of an ice cream container and a rubber band. I got my ice cream. You're sitting on the bus.
I'd eat the whole fucking pot of ice cream first too.
Were you at the back of that little bus banging your head on the window?
Yeah.
As the car goes past you at the window.
Yeah.
There's Jeff, the window licker. He's off the football.
Yeah.
And now you've offended everyone. Like, now you're making fun of people on the short bus. I'm offended by this whole program.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll be getting like we'll be getting ready for bed, and I'll be like, oh fuck, I gotta take whatever medication I have to take, and she'll be like, grab your fucking helmet for bed too,
That's funny. Well, that's funny, isn't it? Well, I'm offended by people that have kids that have problems because they get a free trip from Make-A-Wish to Disneyland. I've got to pay for my own fucking entry fee to get in there and airfare. So fuck me, then. You don't know how easy you fucking got it.
It's not fair.
Poor me, Make-A-Wish. Here comes the movie star, signs an autograph for my son, get a photo.
Yeah. It's like that one powerlifting meet I did where I was definitely the best lifter there, but this fucking little girl got the best lifter trophy just because she was there and she was cute. Fucking asshole.
Oh, sympathy vote, was it?
Yeah. It was a sick trophy too that I didn't get. Tricks.
Should have smacked it down.
But actually, I played basketball too, but I wasn't that good. I only played 1 year of varsity basketball, but
that's because you're white.
But my sport, right, exactly. My sport,
white men can't jump.
Well, this will fit into that. My sport was golf, actually. Whoa. I was a golfer. So
typical white privileged game. Hip hip tally ho, off to the golf course.
Yep, hip hip tally ho. Yeah, I had my knickers and everything. I was pretentious. The whole
Oh,
no, I was
the little cap on.
I was the same way. Like we would do shit. I mean, I was the same way, not the same way I am now. That would be sad. But we weren't politically correct on the golf course either. Like most of us.
Here comes Jeff and Bag of Vance down the fucking golf course.
Yeah. But I was a decent golfer, but I kind of looked into doing it at a college level, and golf is one of those games. It's like the more serious you take it, the more it makes you want to blow your brains out. So
I like mini putt. Mini putt should be a fucking national event on TV. Mini putt's great.
That'd be interesting.
You got the fucking windmills, the clown mouth to hit it through and shit like that. That takes skill.
Yeah. So let's say
you got to get it just up the hill so it goes over the hill, but not too far over the hill. But if you don't hit it hard enough, it rolls back down towards you. There's fucking skill in mini putt, mate.
Yeah. Mini golf is all about knowing the
angles,
all the contours and shit. Yeah. But what sport would you say you're best suited for? Like, let's say you went back in time to when you're 5 years old, and you could, if you had to become professional in a sport, which one do you think would have? Well, obviously besides bodybuilding, but which one do you think you'd be most in powerlifting? You would have been dominant in too, obviously. But like athletic sport.
Well, I got second in the national title for sprinting. So when I was young, I was a good sprinter. But I probably think I'd have the build and like the mindset. I probably would have made a good boxer.
Yeah, I'm too much of a pussy for that, but I can see that. The sprinting thing, maybe. I feel like I feel like the sprinting thing.
I don't think I would have been good. I wouldn't have been good at high jump, I don't think.
Because you could probably jump. You could probably jump though, huh?
I was good at long jump because I was fast. So when doing the long jump, we hit the board and then leap. I'd always be really good at long jumping. But what about pole vaulting? I could be on the end of that stick. Whoa!
Yeah. Do you think you have the mentality for boxing though? Like, would you be okay getting your head punched in all the time?
Yeah, because I'd find it a challenge. I'd actually anything that's a challenge, I love it. It's like so it'd be more like a challenge not to get my head punched in. So if I got punched, I'd be like, oh fuck, he got me again, the bastard. So
right.
And it'd be one of those things too. I guess if you wanted to, if you had any pent up anger, you could just get it out there. Yeah. Fucking bitch didn't cook my dinner last night. Fucking put my gloves on. Fucking put them on.
Yeah. I would be too afraid, I think, to do that.
See, boxing I'd probably do. MMA would be a lot different because they're coming at you from all angles. It's like sometimes you see those boxers go into MMA, but then you see someone that's been doing MMA the whole life with the jiu-jitsu and, what is it, like kickboxing and shit, because all of a sudden you just figure for 15 years you're being like this, and now all of a sudden you're swapping sports, you're getting a bit, all of a sudden fucking legs start coming at you as well. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I don't think
and then if you do get on the ground in boxing, you get knocked down, they start counting. MMA, you get on the ground, now the cunt's on top of you trying to choke you the fuck out. It's like, come on, man, give me a breather.
Yeah, I couldn't do any of the fighting stuff. Those guys are a next level with their. I don't know.
And then they're all bleeding and shit, and then at the end of the fight, they pat each other on the back and go, "Good fight, thanks for that. Thanks for fucking splitting my head open. See you next time."
It's interesting how many good bodybuilders were very fast sprinters, because I know that like all of them were. Phil was, Dexter was unbelievably fast. Dexter was one of the best like high school running backs in Florida. Phil was a Division I basketball player at 5'9", like in-game dunker at 5'9". Flex Lewis was a rocket ship. A lot of the guys were very, very fast. Almost all of them. It's almost like if you kind of almost need that, I think, to build a large amount of muscle. You need that like fast twitch muscle, explosive muscle.
So I'm gonna announce it here first. Come next year's Olympia, I have a contender, Usain Bolt, who's going to be in the Olympia.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Hey, he's quick though. He could have some fast twitch fighters.
I guarantee he could get jacked if he wanted to. So last listener question is Damon Jot. I don't know. Do you monitor heart rate while doing cardio?
Never.
Me either.
Never have.
No, I
see people doing that when they're if you're doing a good steady pace, you know what slow walking is. That you're like, oh, why am I bother walking if you're on the treadmill or outside? As long as you're walking at a good pace, that if you were to talk someone, you're sort of not totally out of breath, but just a little bit out of breath if you're talking and stuff, but not to the point where you see people at the gym.
Yeah.
What the fuck? What are you doing? I got to get in the
zone. Yeah, people, they're like, well, don't you need your heart rate at least this and this? And I'm like,
do you need to sweat? Do you sweat while you're working out and doing cardio? If you don't get a sweat on, you're not burning calories.
I have women ask me that a lot. Women ask me about the sweat thing a lot. Like, well, I did this workout and I wasn't sweating, so I feel like I didn't get anything done. I'm like, that's not a good indicator at all. If you're doing cardio, maybe, but if you're doing if you're doing a weight training workout, it depends on what you're doing, but sweating is not. Most people sweat different amounts regardless.
I've seen skinny Eskimos. Do they sweat in the snow?
I doubt it.
But if you're doing like training and stuff, you have to understand, even cardio, people are like, well, how many calories you burn? It's not even about how many calories you burn. It's about getting your metabolism going. So even though you've stopped cardio, I'm not on the treadmill now, but because I did an hour this morning, my metabolism's still going at a faster rate than if I didn't do any cardio at all. So even though you're no longer on the treadmill, your metabolism's increased. That's why when you're eating cleaner and doing cardio, you can eat more, because it's almost just like throwing wood on a fire. It just gets burned up type thing. So people think, well, I've got to burn this many calories. Like, I don't ever watch calories, because right now I do this treadmill. Yesterday doing an hour, I burnt like 400 calories. What I do as soon as I get off, I go have a cherry ripe and something else. I just put 700 back on. So I'm not worried about how many fucking calories I burn off.
Yeah. There's so much more. I think there's so much more to it, as far as like there's like an infinite number of factors when you're dealing with the body and like fat loss and muscle gain and stuff. To try to like be so specific about it is almost like you're not gonna. It just there's too much going on.
It's like when beginners go, Lee, what do you do for your outer head of the tricep? I just want to target that. I'm like, well, how are you just going to target that? Are you going to, the other two heads of your tricep aren't going to work? It's like, if you're doing push downs, if you're doing close grip bench, if you're doing dips, I said, you're going to hit all three heads. Maybe just one part of your tricep responds better than the other. But, just to try and isolate that one head, I said, you're getting too complicated here, mate. Just train your tricep, train it strict, train it good. It will grow. It's like people say, I want to get a little bit more out here on my outer quad. I was like, well, if you're doing squats and leg press, it's targeting in that, but sometimes people have better teardrop than the outer quad and vice versa. It's like people try and get so specific. Lee, how do I just bring up the inner chest? I'm like, well, I don't know how to make the rest of your chest not work and just the inner chest work, and like even upper chest. What do I do for upper chest? It's like, even doing flat bench, I've seen powerlifters who do nothing but flat bench have massive upper chest. So your chest is still working. Yes, the incline will, give it a little bit more. Plus, you're going to get a little bit more front delt. So it's like, if you just do the basics, things are going to grow. If they aren't growing, don't try and get all scientific about it and go, well, maybe if I just train it on this angle, and while I'm doing triceps, if I turn 45 degrees to the left and put my arm on this type of an angle, that's just going to work the outer head perfectly. Yeah. And I was like, mate, you're overthinking shit too much. Just do the basics.
Right. I think the upper chest thing is kind of like you, for example, your chest is kind of short because you have like your ab like area is longer.
Have a long torso,
so like I have a really like Arnold had a really long pec. I have long pecs and a stubby torso, like a stubby Kai Green torso. And I think if you have longer pecs, you're inevitably going to have a weaker upper chest because there's all this meat down at the bottom. Where if you have a shorter chest, you're going to have more upper chest because there's not as much like space there. I mean, I've been trying to bring up my upper chest for 15 years, and it's just like either my chest gets bigger or it doesn't. Do you know
how you bring it up, Jeff? More drugs, they say. If you take more drugs,
I shoot stuff right in there, I guess.
Exactly, but people just get so scientific, or try to overthink it. I'm like, it's just basic training. People are like, Lee, why don't you do more training videos? I'm like, why? I said, the guy asked me this morning, what do you do? I said, why? I said, well, look, here's Lee at 13 years old doing a barbell curl. Here's Lee at 21. Oh, look, he's doing a barbell curl.
Yeah.
Here's Lee at 35. Oh, he's doing the same movement. It's a barbell curl. I said, what the fuck do you want to see any different? I said, from how I trained then to now, I do barbell curl the same way. It wasn't like when I was 20 years old, with each rep, I only blinked once. Now I'm 48. Oh, I've noticed something different. Now when Lee does barbell curls, I saw in his last video, he blinks twice. That's the secret. It's like, it's the same fucking exercise. How boring watching the same movement over and over. The only thing you're going to see change is my fucking T-shirt. I'm not fucking changing the exercise. It's like, there's no secret, people. Just fucking stick to the basics, train hard, get your food in and rest. And if you're going to grow, you're going to fucking grow. There's no, I'm not doing fucking barbell curls with my feet planted in a certain direction or fucking whatever. So it's just.
Yeah. I had a kid come in the other day and he's like all these bro, he's one of those, I don't know. He's like all these bro scientists doing their bro splits. They don't know what they're doing. It's been scientifically proven that muscle protein synthesis lasts for 12 hours after you train. Or whatever. And so once 12 hours goes by, you can train again. So push pull legs is the best. And I'm like, dude, what if you're training like a pussy? Like, what if you're not eating? What are you talking about? Like, as if doing push pull legs instead of chest, back, arms, shoulders, legs, as if that change alone is going to make you grow. Like, you could be training like a complete idiot, or you could be training like a monster, or you could be eating like a monster, eating like an idiot. You could be not sleeping. You could be doing blow on the weekend. What are you talking about? I'm like, dude, that's
have you ever noticed, nothing against them, but some of these ones who I've seen year after year online who are into this bro science, this, that, they look exactly the same year after year. They're pretty fucking skinny. They don't look like they're going to the gym, but the only difference between them and you is you take more drugs than me or fucking, they got some excuse. It's like,
it's funny because this same guy always goes on about how horrible guys are that take steroids and how, that sort of thing. And it's like,
I could look like him if I took it, but I just don't want to do that to my body because I'm all about health. The sad thing is you have probably taken them and you still look shit. So
generally those guys, like if you're like hardcore against, if you are so adamantly against steroids, then you're probably taking steroids, like those guys are like, why did you keep like, I don't know, going on about it? It's
all the time.
A little fishy. Yeah. And people say like, oh, is Rob on steroids? And I'm like, what kind of question is that? What do you like? That's like, you would never ask me, does Rob drink alcohol? No one would ever ask drink alcohol because it's like, he may drink a beer. Yeah, maybe he has 2 beers with dinner twice a week. Or maybe if I say yes to you, I'm giving you no information. All I'm telling you is that he, in some way, shape, or form, he consumes alcohol. If I say yes, Lee uses steroids, you don't know anything. Is he doing a gram of Tren, or is he doing a 25 megs of Anavar?
I say exactly the same thing because I get asked all the time. Do you think Michael Hearn's natty? Do you think this person's natty? What do you think this person takes? Lee, what did you take? I said, why ask these stupid questions? If I tell you exactly what I took, if I told you exactly what Dorian took, I said, how does that fucking help you in your daily life of training? Because whatever I took might not be the same as going to work for you. And if someone's natural or not, and you got all this time to think about, is Michael Hearn natural? Is this guy natural? I said, why do you even think about shit like that? Just concentrate on your fucking self and go fucking train. If you want to use a little bit, try a little bit. But me saying what I used, if I knew what Dorian took or these guys took and you knew what they took, how's that fucking help you? If you take the same thing, what, you think you're going to look like Dorian? So why do you spend all this time on fucking steroid issues when, to me, it's irrelevant? It's like, okay, the pros take them, fucking move on. That's it. It's like, who cares? Right. It's like, shit. It's like, Lee, what do you think I should do? Should I take this much test and this? And I'm like, don't ask me. It's like, fucking stupid.
And not to mention, everyone responds to steroids so differently. I've learned that now firsthand. Like, I'm convinced that people respond. I've seen guys take 750 milligrams of test with 300 milligrams of tren, and it's like they put on 20 pounds of bloat and nothing else happens. And I'm like, dude, I could never even imagine putting that in me. I couldn't even imagine. I feel like I would be 260 in 2 weeks. Like, I don't even know. Like, I couldn't even imagine. First of all, I feel like it would kill me. Like, just because of what I have. It's like, and then you have people like you or like Luke Sando was. Like, you do 500 milligrams of test and you're bigger than 99.9% of people who have ever lived.
Yeah, but no one will believe you only do 500 milligrams of test, because they're like, well, I'm doing 2,000 and I'm not as big as him, so they've got to be at least doing 5,000. That's their fucking mentality. It's like,
I believe it because I've seen people firsthand. I've seen friends. I've seen I've seen it firsthand. Like the way that
How many guys do you see that go to a gym like Gold Gym Venice? I'd see it all the time. Guys in there abusing the shit, and I mean they couldn't even win a local show. Half of them, if you looked at him, I said, "Hey Jeff, see that guy there? He's taking like 2,000 a week of test, this and that." You'd look at him and go, "Does he even fucking lift the weight?" So it's like
all the time. I tell people all the time that taking steroids and looking great are virtually not connected at all, because it's like it's the same in powerlifting. It's the same. It's like there in this area, there's a lot of great powerlifters for whatever reason, and there's one or two. There's namely one who's like he's like a super elite world class powerlifter, totally natural, totally like raw. But there's other guys who are on like they're on a significant amount of shit. They're on about a gram because they're pretty open about it. Like we all talk about it. And I'm on HRT like 140. You know what I mean? Low HRT.
Yeah.
And I beat all these guys who are jabbing a ton of stuff in them, and they would never believe me. They would never believe me if I told them that, you know, that I was doing like it's not even worth it. I just tell them I don't do anything.
They're like what? They're like what? Oh yeah, you probably take that every hour, every day.
Yeah. I had one kid. We were at a deadlift meet, and one kid goes, this kid comes up to me, he goes, "You running?" And I'm like, "What do you mean am I running? Like, have I been running?" He's like, "No, you running shit?" And I'm like, "Nah, my HRT." He didn't know what HRT meant. And he goes, "You want some halos? I got some halos in my bag." And I'm like, No, I don't want fucking halos. Like, I'm going to go win this meet on 140 milligrams. Like, I'm like, it's like, it doesn't mean that you're going to be better because you're on stuff or that you're off stuff. It's not, it doesn't work.
The halo's going to kick in that quick that it's going to kick in that day, and you're going to go, whoa.
He literally offered me halo at the meet while we were warming up to deadlift. I'm like, he wasn't competing, but
imagine if you took it, Jeff, you could have broke the world record straight away. You popped that pill like Roger Ramjet, and
yeah. Fucking hell, I don't know. It's just
that's like those same dickheads when I go to the gym and I see the fucking the pin dispenser in the thing with steroid needles sticking out the top of it. I'm thinking, there's some of these people actually think that if you inject it before you fucking train, it's going to work like a pre-workout, like fucking straight away. I just had test. Hold on, oh fuck yeah, I can feel it. It's like, come on.
Yeah. Did you ever in your career take one of those like halo tests, like one of those really, really strong orals that hits you like quickly and makes you like aggressive and crazy?
The only strong oral I took was a Napoleon 50.
What was that? I'm not even familiar with that.
Well, here it was called a Napoleon 50, or was it Anapoleon? But Napoleon, it's like one of the strongest ones you can get. You only need one a day. It's 50 milligrams, and that increases your red blood cells and makes you super fucking. Within a week, you'll notice your strength goes through the roof. And a lot of people would take it and tear shit because they get so strong that other thing wasn't catch up in time. And I had a friend. He'd take two. He'd get bad headaches because everything, blood pressure increases, and it's most toxic on your body. I had a friend, he was taking them, comes up to my time in the bathroom, "Hey, Lee, got a question to ask you. I've been taking a Napoleon 50. I said, "Yeah, how much?" 6 a day. I went, 6 a day? I said, "Fuck me, Dad, that'll kill you." He goes, "Yeah, that's the one to ask you." He goes, "I've been urinating blood. Is that bad?" I'm like, what the fuck? Nah, that's fucking natural.
That's the goal.
Yeah, just keep pissing blood out. That's fucking good for you. Why don't you fucking ask me?
What was it called? What was it called?
Anaplon, Anaplon.
Scott, what do you know what that is, Scott? If you're listening, Anaplon 50. Scott's good with that type of shit. I don't know. I'm not sure. It sounds like an Anadrol type drug.
Let me see if I can Google it here. Napoleon, I think it was.
I had a buddy who took 50 milligrams of Anadrol, just that, and he exploded into a monster.
Yeah, Napoleon 50, known as oxymethylone and Anadrol.
Oh, it's Anadrol. Yeah, Anadrol. Yeah.
Is a synthetic anabolic steroid developed in 1960 by Syntex Pharmaceuticals.
So do you know what milligrams they were that he was taking when he was taking 6 a day? 10s
50,
or something?
No, 50 milligrams
each.
My
God.
Because here they come in 50 milligrams. That's why I'm looking at the boxes now. It says Anaplon 50. I'd take one of them and I'd feel like, stuff like that. Yeah, it's just here it's called Anaplon 50 in Australia.
Yeah. One of my buddies, one of my buddies took 50 milligrams of that, so it'd be one of those a day. And he gained like 30 pounds. He gained 30 pounds, and he didn't have any well, it fucked up his appetite, which is common. So
here's fastest acting and strongest anabolic steroid used today, but it can cause dangerous side effects.
Yeah.
Like pissing blood if you're taking 300 milligrams a day.
You took that a little bit, or like one time?
I take it up until shows generally. Normally because it was so strong, I'd take it like generally the last 4 weeks before a contest, because it increased the red blood cells. It'd keep you nice and full and strong.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I remember here in Australia, like he was talking about here, how it says increases the number of red blood cells and that oxygenating cells. I remember when they hear, look, the real strength gains bigger muscles and the ability to work harder. We used to be able to get it. Used to be $100 a bottle here in Australia for an Anaplon 50. And then they discontinued it. And this was back when AIDS was becoming a bigger thing and that sort of thing. And then because of the red blood cell increase, they're like, oh, we can use this on AIDS patients now to help them, get strength and shit. So when they re-brought it back on the market, before it used to be $100 a bottle, when they brought it back out for the AIDS patients to use, it was $1,000 a bottle. Wow. Marketing at its finest, huh?
What about Dianabol?
Dianabol, I never really went over 30 milligrams a day.
Yeah.
Generally I'd come in 25 milligram tablets here, or 10. So you could take 3 or 10. But if it came in a 25 milligram pill, I'd just take the 25. But if they came in 10 milligram ones, because I didn't want to break it in half, I'd take 30.
Yeah.
But that was about it. But I know people were taking 8 of them a day or more. It's like fucking
100 milligrams is that's what you do. 100 milligrams.
No, I never went over. Maybe once or twice I might have did 40, but it was never at 50. I remember like an Anaplon, I'd take one, it was 50. But generally the Dianabol was no more. Like I said, if it was a 25 milligram tab, I'd just take the 25 a day. If it was the 10 ones, because I didn't want to take 20, I didn't want to take 25, break it. I'd say, oh, fuck, I'll just take 3 of them. So it was 30. But I never went crazy on any of it. But, if I read online, I did, or people tell me I did. It's like, you wouldn't believe how many times people have told me, I know for a fact what you took. I'm like, oh, really?
You have no idea. You have no idea. You just, and that's the thing I learned. The more I am into this sport, the more I realize that you just don't know. You don't know.
Do you mean as long as you've been in this sport and working in that shop, you've never had someone come in and go, oh, do you know Lee Priest, a bodybuilder? Do you know what he takes? I can tell you. He takes this and that. Have you ever had anyone tell you what I've taken, Jeff?
No, but I've had more than one person say that they think you're bullshitting about your doses, though.
I can never understand that. It's like, I've always been honest about everything from sex life to family life to anything. It's like,
it's because they don't know anything about you. They don't know. All they know about you is you're a human that was jacked. They don't understand. They don't understand that you had a deep cut 6-pack when you were 12, and you were like. They don't understand that you were gifted and that you dedicated your whole life. They don't understand any of that. All they see is you being jacked.
But the whole lying thing is like, my story's never changed. I must be a good liar if I can stick to the same amounts all this time. But it's like, when I say I took 400 of test, or if it's a sus 250, I took 2 mil, which would be 500 if it's a legitimate 250 a mil. Maybe it's under strength. But it's like, if I took 1,000 or 2,000, I'd say, hey, when I was 20, I took 1,000. Why would I fucking care? Why?
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a shit. If it was 5,000,
Right.
I'd rather tell the truth and say, yes, okay, when I was 25, I took 5,000, and this is how I felt. This is what I experienced, and I realized, hey, I'll go back to 2,000. But, all I've ever done is the 400 or 500, and then at time with Trevor from Nuclear Nutrition, I did try 800 a week, and I felt crap. So I went back to the 4, and I've always stayed around the smaller amounts and done well. I've had friends who have abused it. I've told them to come off and then start back at a smaller amount, and guess what? Hey, thanks, Lee. I still feel great, and I'm making the same results as I was when I was using 3 times the amount. I'm like, see, you don't fucking need these large amounts. It's like, But you can't tell them. It's like, well, I read online. I read online you need this much.
Exactly what happens.
Dr. Tony Huge says you fucking need this. Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, it's exactly what happens. I tell kids would be like, I'm doing 300 milligrams of Tren. I'm like, yeah, that's a lot. And they're like, no, it's not. That's not a lot. I'm like, yes, it is. You're taking a drug that was never meant for humans. And 300 milligrams is a lot. Like, especially when you haven't been, you don't do it. You've never been doing it. You're young. You're 21. Like, it is a lot. And you can't convince them.
It's just my first cycle. Next year, I'm going to go 600.
Yeah. Did you use Tren at all?
I did it a couple of times, but I used it for maybe, I wouldn't say, if I add up the total years I did it, probably 3 years. I wouldn't do it like every year. Maybe if I wanted something and I couldn't get it, like Masteron. Oh, we don't have Masteron, Lee. I got some Tren. Okay, I'll take the Tren. But just that the last time I ever did, I was in the bathroom with Kathy. Must have been 2001 or 2002 Olympia. When I was training in that shed, fucking in the bathroom, shove it in. All of a sudden, as I stand up, chest goes, as tight as it's ever been. And I'm like, and like, all I can picture is me fucking falling on the floor, a fucking syringe hanging out my shoulder, fucking dying. I said, fuck this shit.
All of a sudden, you believe in God in that moment, right?
Yeah. Just that
Please,
feeling.
God.
I said, never again. It was almost like I just inhaled a whole thing of chlorine or something. Because when I was young, I accidentally did that. I found this stuff in the laundry because we had a pool. I'm like, what's that white stuff? Took it off. Fucking the pain up my nose and fucking chest and shit. I'm like, yeah. So when I had that last Tren shot, and my chest, it was like, I couldn't describe like the pain and the pressure and how tight it got. And I'm there like, not even coughing. I'm like, fucking, I'm like, fuck that. Never again. So, no.
Yeah. Yeah, that would never, that scares me. That whole, that drug in general is scary to me. Even though a lot of people say it's like,
well, like I'm amazed at the amount of young kids I'm amazed at the amount of young kids that take it. They go to music festivals. All you see is Tren this, Tren that. I'm like, you guys are fucking nuts.
Well, this is what happens. Like, you get a kid that comes in all the time. This happens, dude. Like, they might work out, but you can't tell that they work out. You know what I mean? They're not. They haven't gotten to a point where you can tell they work out, and they make like Tren jokes because they think they're cool. They're like, well, you just do some Tren, and they have no idea what Tren is. All they know is it's like the cool thing right now because it's a dangerous steroid.
But that's like when I'm online, when I'm doing my lives. If I'm doing my live on Instagram, every time someone, same thing, always making little Tren jokes. I'm like, fucking hell, it's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, nah.
Yeah. But the last thing, Lee sent me a video on WhatsApp of was it Rusty Jeffers who did it? Who pulled your finger off?
Yeah, fingernail. Yeah,
your fingernail. What the fuck was that?
Well, we're actually at the gym, right? And I was. This could have been Russ. Russ could have been there that time at the gym actually. And we're doing this weight stack was stuck somehow. And I'm like, look, guys, I'll help you fucking unstick it if you just hold this. So I had my hand down there and I unstick. I think I got it. And for some reason, when I said that, they let the weight stack go and it fucking slammed on my finger. So then the next day, my finger was that fucking swollen and the pressure was in it. I'm like, fuck me dead. It's going to, eventually it might come off. But I tried to get a drill and I'm trying to hold my finger straight while we drill into it so we can release the pressure. But that didn't fucking work too well. So I said, you know what, it's and cause where it hit my finger, it had this jagged edge on it, and I was catching it. And it was just like I said, it's swelling up, it's going black. I said to Rusty, I got an idea, let's just fucking rip it off. It's going to come off anyway. So Rusty goes, yeah, I'll go get some pliers. And you saw the video. He had the biggest pair of fucking Stilsons he could fucking find. Just like
do you have a better video of it? That video was so blurry.
No, I think that's the only one.
Even then though, it was like,
I think that was
I wanted
one
to
of
look
those
away.
old phones back in the day. So I'm just sitting at his kitchen table holding my hand like this. Like I said, I thought he might have come back with a small pair of pliers. He comes back with these big fucking Stilsons like he's going to fix the fucking sink under the kitchen sink. And he clamps them on my finger.
They probably were under the kitchen sink the day before, too.
And I'm holding my hand like this. He goes, you ready? I'm ready. And he just grabs it and fucking with all his might, he just goes rip and the fucking fingernail come off. So.
Oh, man.
The things we do for fun.
What was the aftermath of that?
I bled a little bit.
Bled like a bastard.
Yeah, a fair bit, but then we just bandaged it up and I was fine. A new one grew back.
Oh,
but it was fun. It's one of those things I committed to do. I said, yeah, go do it. I must have been in a silly frame of mind. Go get it. Let's do it. And then once you film it, now you got to go through it. Yeah, come on.
You could have auditioned for Jackass and made the show.
Exactly.
Made the show with that.
Yeah, but I still laugh when he came out of the fucking garage with that big fucking belt. Like, you got nothing smaller. I want to take the fingernail off, not my fucking finger.
Oh, man.
Because you see, he's got both hands on the fucking handle of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and you got your finger, you like this. Like, you got
that's why I'm fucking holding it, because I'm thinking he's going to rip my whole fucking...
Yeah. How easy did it come off? It came right off?
Oh, yeah, because he gave it a big yank. Rusty's standing there in like a fucking lunge pose with both hands on, so he just goes...
Oh.
That was quick.
Man. I would have puked, I think.
I'm glad I didn't ask him to remove my foreskin or anything back in the day. You'd
have gave that a yank.
I got a samurai sword, Lee. We can do this.
Yeah. Hold still.
No, I got the fucking cigar cutter for the cigar.
Oh, yeah. Fucking pizza cutter. Lay that bad boy down for me.
We just go around it like this.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Ooh. That's a gnarly video.
Yeah, it's
super
funny.
Gnarly. But that's about all I have. Tell the Mike Menser story quick.
The Mike
You're
Menser
talking
story.
to Scott when when you were.
Well, I'd see Mike all the time. I'd always see Mike at the gym pretty much every day, and back then too. Before I came to Venice, Mike you'd see on the books, and they were so big. But then when I met him, it was like normal. But then I don't think he had a good diet, Mike, because his stomach got bigger and bigger, and he was a chain smoker out the front of Gold's. There's Mike Menser, fucking. He always had the T. Michael tops on and the big baggy pants. I'm not sure he must have drank a bit too, because one day I come to the gym, I was about to walk in, he's out the front smoking. Lee, come here. I'm like, yeah. He's like, he goes, you know what, Lee? Arthur Jones. I'm like, yeah, I know Arthur Jones. He, made the Nautilus gym equipment. He goes, yeah, Arthur Jones. Worked it out. Arthur Jones is God. I'm like, how do we put that together somehow? Arthur Jones is God. He goes, yes. He has been thinking about it. How great thou art. You know how when they say how great thou art, they're talking about Arthur Jones. I'm like, okay, that's good to know.
Man, he was really into high intensity training.
He was.
Arthur Jones is God.
Nice.
I didn't realize he actually went crazy. I thought when people said that, they just meant like he was so pissed off over the Arnold shit and stuff.
No, I think he did. Towards the end there, I think there was something happening in there. But there's a good picture of me in that black and white unitard with Mike Menser in the gym, if you can find it online. Just find Lee Priest and Mike Menser. But that black and white unitard I'm wearing, there's a picture of me and Mike in there shaking hands.
Yeah. Maybe Scott will find it and put it up.
Yes, around that time.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, but if I find it, I'll send it to you anyway. But yeah.
So that's really all I got. That's all I got. I was looking for the timestamp for Scott, but he'll find it. What's this? So that's all I got, Lee. Unless you have anything else.
No, that's it.
Yeah. Good show. Like, subscribe, follow, comment. Let us know what you think you would do about an amputee in a bodybuilding contest, and give us some
And I don't.
Good
and I
examples
don't
of
want,
politically
I don't want
incorrect
people,
jokes too.
Yeah, and I don't want people to think I was coming down to that amputee because he looked
No.
fantastic. I'm just more curious on how do they judge it, because like you said, he looked like he deserved to win, but I'm just wondering how they judge an amputee compared. Like I said, I don't even like to say able to, because he is able, so it's not like disabled. So it's just like, I mean, if you're going for symmetry and you're judging 2 legs compared to 1 is what I mean. So nothing against nothing against.
And he did look great. He did look awesome.
Yeah.
Cannonball delts, tight waist.
Looks better than my 2 legs.
Yeah. I doubt it. But yeah, guys, like, subscribe, comment. Check out all the other shows we got on it on Advices Radio and Think Big Bodybuilding. The guys Dusty and Ron just had Chris Bumstead on. It's Just Bodybuilding. It was a good interview. He talked about all the health issues he's been going through and stuff. It's very cool.
Health issues.
Yeah. He has like an autoimmune disorder that affects his kidneys. So it looks like his time,
he's on the retarded bus review, is he, with the autoimmune?
Yeah, he is. We're together like this.
You're gonna lick the windows together
with our helmets. Yeah. Yeah.
He's doing the Olympia, isn't he? Isn't he doing the Olympia now?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yep. But he just says his time in bodybuilding is going to be somewhat short-lived because his body's only going to be able to take it for so long.
That could be a good thing.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right, guys. For Lee Priest, I'm Jeff Roberts. Renegade Muscle, thanks for watching, and we're out.